the DJI Action 5 Pro because there was just too much wind. Do you know what I mean? So for the most part, it's just going to be me doing a voiceover. Sorry about that. So instead of hearing me, you hear me. And trust me, I listened to it. And there's a lot of things that you wouldn't want to hear. You know, they were silly. Very, very silly. What I was saying at this point is here we are in Colwyn Bay. We're not in Colwyn Bay. We're in Rhos-on-Sea. So what we did, this is, if you watch the first part of the little apartment tour, this is that same evening. After we'd had a look around and put our stuff down, we thought, let's get the bikes out and go on a little adventure. So, as you saw then, coming down that main road, at the bottom we got the prom. We can go left to go to Llandudno, right to go towards Colwyn Bay. So on the first night, we went right towards Colwyn Bay. And like I said, I just decided to cut the audio because it was terrible with the wind. I didn't take this little mic. Well, I did take this little mic. I just didn't use it. So look at those wind chimes out. Well, chimes, wind ornaments, wind weather vanes. I don't know what you're going to call them. Anyhow, this is what we did. We cycled down this way, and might I just say that the promenade in Colwyn Bay / Rhos-on-Sea / Llandudno are really, really nice. We had one day of rain, so we went down on the Thursday, just gone. Don't expect me to remember the date. I think it was the 18th, but I don't know if that's 100% accurate. And this evening, the first evening, which is this that you're watching now, is when we went down to towards Colwyn Bay, all the way down there for a little bit of an explore. The next day, we went to Llandudno and did a big epic bike tour. I'll put that in a separate video because this is already going to be, it's about 15 minutes, it's far too long. The day after, it rained really heavily and Jenna joined us, Jamie's wife, and we just stayed and played a bit of board gamage and stuff. And then the last day, which was Sunday, which was yesterday, I'm doing well at remembering all this, we went back to Llandudno. Oh, and also on the night of the rainy night, we went to some sort of magic show in a bar in Llandudno as well. So we spent most of the time in Llandudno. But this was our first little explore out. And the prom was beautiful, and Jamie back then was pointing at all the lovely houses that we couldn't afford, even if we wanted to live there. But I think at least 5 different times each of us said, we could live here, we could retire here, we would like to live here. It's a really, really nice place. Down this way is the way we drove it in. And so Jamie came in his own car, or his own van, with all the bikes. Me and Nick came in Nick's car. My car, not the most practical for road trips. Not when you want to take anything with you because it's a 2-seater. Nick's is a nice big saloon Audi A4 and a massive boot. And Jamie's got a Transit Custom or something? Transit Connect that he's turned into a little camper. It's a great little van. It's lovely, in fact. All the way down here, the temperature was perfect for me. I can't deal with it when it's super sunny. So this was early evening. I couldn't tell you what time. In fact, you can tell by the time when we start heading back that the sun's setting and it's starting to draw in. So we just thought, let's plod down here for as far as we feel like going. I want to say we did 11 miles, I think, on the first evening. So we didn't go super, super, super far. But as you know, on the bike, on the flat, on a prom, it's not exactly an achievement to cycle any distance because it's easy. It's easier than walking. In fact, if someone was to walk next to you and you were to cycle at the most minimum cycling speed you could ever think of, you'd still overtake them. So it sounds like a lot of miles. It's not really. It's really not. But the tide was out. When we went to Llandudno, as you'll see in later videos, the tide's brutal. The tide's pretty heavy. Oh, and we found this place as well called Angel Cove. Angel Cove, I think it is. And that's where it's seal mating season / birthing season. I will put some footage in of that. I think that was in the morning tomorrow. Yes, that was in the morning bike ride on the way to Llandudno. This all only happened like a day or two ago, and I'm already getting all senior momentage about it. But we found this place with all these little seals. There was one baby seal, and all the other adults just chilling in this little cove. You could go down to them, obviously, but we just observed them from above. Really, really nice. I decided to speed up a lot of this footage, by the way, because if I didn't, this video would be probably a couple of hours. So I've trimmed it down to 15 minutes, which I think was tolerable. And the Action 5 Pro is just mounted on the handlebars. There is a couple of bits where I talk. So I'm watching this back in the timeline editor in a really small window, as you're watching it now on full screen, and I'm just voicing over. Now if I see little spiky bits come up where I'm talking, I will stop talking on the voiceover and let myself. I've kind of watched it through and I've seen some bits and I'm thinking I'll leave that in because that kind of explains a little bit. Oh, under a little pier there. We were going to go on that, but we didn't because we just forgot, and it was getting late by the time we turned around. Ultimately, all we do down here is we get as far as we feel like going, we double back, we find a Morrison's on the phone on Jamie's map, go there, get some milk, and then go home. Doesn't sound like an epic adventure, but we really enjoyed it, and Jamie took a lot of pictures as well with his pro camera setup. It was really nice. Here's me about to say something really important. Still going in the general direction that we were going before we turned around. Does that make sense? Because we were going this way, and then we turned around, and I think I stopped the camera, but we're still going that way. Does that? Yeah? No? I hope that was super important. I need to turn the sound down on that bit actually, because I can see that it's peaking. In the last video I did, we just went out on a pier and I forgot to film it. Trust me, it was nice. Where are we going? Go down there, down there. Down the ramp. Down the ramp. I was confused then. Oh my god, he on X Games mode. We did it! Where I went into Liverpool, the audio was completely butchered. It was horrendous. So yeah, this little bit down here, we get to like there's like a hill that you can go up. We've just been up it on the bikes, and that's the way down, that little foot there. Then we double back around, literally turn around here, and just aim back the whole way we came. I think my watch did record it, and I have got the map of somewhere that shows where we went, and I should have put it in here, but I didn't. This is me even editing it at this point, thinking I'm not going to find that and put it in. If I do find that and put that in, that's a miracle, but I really don't think I will. You can see there's been a lot of rain recently as well, but this evening was proper dry. I went round that puddle and turn around, nice and slow like, and the lads are coming up round. There's the hill. That's the hill obviously on the left that we just came. We went up, we pedalled up it and then failed miserably, and then we came back down for that little foot. I don't know what that foot is, and this is our little loop. I'm definitely going to revisit this Rhos-on-Sea / Colwyn Bay area and either rent a bike or take a bike with me, because it's very, very bikeable. It'd be an ideal place for the, you know what I call the Boris bikes or Beryl bikes. Borrel is a combination of Boris and Beryl. No, electric ones where you can just put a bit of money on your card and then just use them and then dock them. It would be an ideal place for that. In fact, the next place I go, we see it. I think I'm going to find somewhere that literally has those bikes. We'll just find a place to stay, and so we don't have to take our own bikes, where we can just rent bikes off the road. That's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking Cornwall. Sarah doesn't know this yet, but Sarah, I'm thinking that we should go to Cornwall, because there's plenty of bike rental places. Oh, more important text coming up, speech rather. We are lost. No, not actually. We might be lost. We might be lost. That went on a lot longer than it looked. Is that the Morrison's? Oh, I got a good leg pump on there. Must remember to turn that down as well. Absolutely. So yeah, speed this up a little bit here to get to Morrison's, but I slow it down again so you can get a feel for the sort of houses. Yeah, it's really, there's a lot of like, I don't know, turrets, steeples, I don't know, the houses. A lot of the houses are completely different. You get a really old-fashioned house, and then next to it you get like what I call a Tony Stark glass balconies, glass cubes. So there's a real mix of houses, but when we looked up in an estate agent, you couldn't really get much for under like 600,000. So it's obviously a very sought after area. Not many people had a Welsh accent either, which we thought was odd. Everyone we spoke to, more or less, was English or had an English accent. There was literally about 2 people I heard with a bit of a Welsh twang, and that's it. So the Welsh people must be like, let's get away from this area because it's full of English people. because Welsh probably don't like us. Because let's face it, no one really likes us because we're obnoxious, aren't we? We just used to invade everywhere, and we were just idiots, basically. But yeah, the Morrisons is round this corner. I go on bike watch while the guys go in and get a little bit of cereal, a little bit of milk. In fact, if I remember rightly, I do explain that in a little sort of selfie vlog clip that's coming up. But yeah, we didn't go into the town of Colwyn Bay. I think Jamie went there when he met Jenna, because Jenna came to join us on the train. She cycled, then got on the train with her bike, and Jamie went to meet her, and he said it was round about-ish, this Morrisons-ish area. So again, didn't go to Conway Castle or anything like that. There's a lot left to explore, and this place is it's an hour's drive from where Sarah lives, so I am definitely going to do a lot more adventures in Wales. I really like Wales. In fact, I think I like it more than Scotland at the minute. Oh, here's an important bit. Jimmy and Nick have gone into Morrisons, or Home Bargains, I think it's Morrisons, to get some milk and coffee for tomorrow. Pretty much what I said I was going to say. Then on the way back, sped up most of this to go past these houses, because we've just seen them. They were on the opposite side because we were coming towards. And then I put a little bit of audio back in because Jamie's brakes were particularly squealy at this point, and it made for a little bit of comedy. I'm gonna ride my bike until I get home. Why did they make it so zigzaggy? That's crazy. Oh. Thank you. Jimmy's squeaky brakes. He did actually adjust those brakes pretty much when we got back to the van, either that or the morning after, so they stopped doing it. But it was fun at the time, you know, it added a bit of excitement. This was some sort of fun run, sort of park run on the bit, and I put my hands in front of my eyes, went non-handed like I was going to crash into the wall. Some of them believed me, but I did swerve around them. I'm not nasty like that. So as you can see, the sun, as I would say, is pretty much set by this point, or only just from this moment on. Again, speeding the footage up, you can see how quickly it's getting darker. And this is pretty much a full run all the way back from where the Morrisons bit was. And there's a sign that says Colwyn. I thought I'd slow that bit down just so you could see it, I don't know. Then we go fast again. So this is pretty much the full run all the way back down the prom, obviously, because that's where we are. Back to the digs. I get the word digs from my dad. It's Merseyside for place to stay, because you kind of dig in. I think it's an army thing, but I always say digs, and that, you know, you just have to deal with that. But yeah, it's such a pretty prom. Even the bus shelter things, they have USB ports with solar panels on the roof, so you can charge your phone while you sit there and just look out to sea. And them lights are really nice. A little crazy golf thing there. The floor, the road, the surface is immaculate. There's no litter, there's no graffiti, there was no like yobbish kids or anything. And even into the evening, at the dark, it's really, really nice place to stay. There we are at the wind vane, weather vane, spinny things again. So as you can see, if you've watched it this far, which I guarantee you have not watched it this far, because it's a really long video and it's just too much to ask. There's some toilets there, cafe. We went to eat in a few of these places around here as well. It was really nice, but we just cross over the road again. This is the bit from the start, because literally we're going back to where we came from, because that's what you tend to do. You set off from somewhere that you're staying, you pretty much usually always go back to it unless something really unusual happens. So yeah, that one with the flashing lights, I think we went there for chicken and chips. That's what I had, and Jamie had a Welsh rarebit. Up this little bit of an incline, there's a cafe on the corner. There's two cafes actually. One on the right is where we had our breakfast on the rainy day. We're pretty much next to a takeaway and a beauty salon thing. We go past this main road, or this big junction here, and our apartment is coming up on the left. I can't quite see which one it is. That's a laundrette, I think, with the glowing lights. So ours is pretty much... Yeah, it's this building here, on your immediate left there. that's where we're staying. So the road to the left is where the van is and where Nick's car is. There's no on-site parking, but they just recommended this street. We put the bikes back in the van, and that was our first evening cycle adventure. The next day was a lot further, a lot steeper, and some really fast bits on it. Really enjoyed it. But honestly, I really like getting out on the bike, and I think every time I have a break now, I'm either going to have a bike with me or hire one. Thanks for watching.